into Texans today, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and we've got a loaded show on tap for y'all today. The latest Texans storylines after the big trade yesterday, which, yes, we'll break down that trade, is Harrison Bryant, the newest Texan. Is he a lock to make the 53-man roster? Also, great article out this morning by Jonathan Alexander of the Houston Chronicle. But are the Texans really keeping 7 wide receivers on the roster? We'll talk about that. And then lastly, could we have found a hidden gem this offseason in Ed Ingram? Could he be the starting right guard for this Texans squad? All these stories on today's show. Before we get into it, got to give a quick shout out to the Noti gang. Yesterday, I dropped a video right after John Mechie got traded, and these are the first 5 people who commented on that video. So TR34, Dan Got Jokes TV, Day Day, JP, which he also had a little otter next to his name, but our graphic system wasn't pulling up the otter. All good. JP and Kobe Tree, the first 5 people to comment on my video yesterday. I'm going to do a better job of shouting y'all out and giving people shout outs for being the first 5 comments on my videos. And if you want to be shout out on a future Texan show, make sure you hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell, and select the all option, and be one of the first 5 people to comment on my videos. Shout out to all y'all. I know a ton of y'all comment first on my videos, are there as soon as I drop them, and I notice that. I appreciate it, and I'm going to do a better job of giving y'all's limelight. If you're new to the program, though, make sure you do these steps. And if you're also new, this is how we break down stories on Texans today. I use a Toro heads meter. So if I give something 0 Toro heads or fake news, it's not happening. 1 Toro head, think of it as like a small shred of truth. Maybe it happens. 2 Toro heads, 50-50 shot. 3 Toro heads, I think it's pretty likely. And if I give something 4 Toro heads, H-Town, hold it down. And that leads me to the first story on today's show. Harrison Bryant locked to make the 53-man roster. 4 Toro heads, H-Town, hold it down. I believe he is locked and loaded, ready to go, and he is going to be the 3rd tight end on this Texans team. They made the trade for a reason, not only to get a 5th-round pick back, which was their original 5th-round pick from the Philadelphia Eagles. They also got a position of need at the tight end spot. They were really counting on Brevin Jordan to be that 3rd guy in the tight end room. Now they have Harrison Bryant to take that up. If you missed the trade this weekend, these are the trade details. The Texans received Harrison Bryant and a 5th-round pick. The Eagles received John Mechie and a 6th-round pick. And I want to know from you folks at home, we had a little time to digest this trade, a little time to let it marinate. Let me know. Grade the trade down below for your Houston Texans. A, B, C, D, or F. If you get hit with the YouTube ad break here, all good. Scroll on down and grade this trade for the Houston Texans. I'm going to give it an A+. I didn't think John Mechie was going to make the roster. I thought he'd been doing well this offseason. He's been looking good. But with how the wide receiver room is shaking out, how this wide receiver room's looked, I really didn't think that he had a shot to make the final 53. And I thought the Texans would be trying to shop him as roster cutdown day became closer and closer. And like I said, you get a position of need. The Texans, they needed another tight end after Brevin Jordan went down with that season-ending injury last week. And they get a guy in Harrison Bryant where the numbers aren't going to absolutely blow you out of the water and wow you, but he is a serviceable tight end 3 in this league. He's shown that from his stops in Cleveland and his stop in Las Vegas last year. He was a tight end 3, and the receiving numbers aren't amazing, but he's also a really good blocking tight end. So I think him coming in as the tight end 3, he's going to be able to step in immediately and help out this tight end room a ton. As you see, it's Dalton Schultz, Cade Stover. You got Harrison Bryant, Irv Smith Jr., Luke Lachey, Jakob Johnson. You also have Trey McKitty on this roster as well. But I think you're keeping 3 tight ends at least. And those 3 tight ends are going to be Harrison Bryant, Irv Smith Jr., Harrison Bryant, Cade Stover, and Dalton Schultz. Those guys, I think, are locks to make this roster. I don't believe the Texans would have traded for Harrison Bryant to just be on the roster for 8 days and then go and cut him. I mean, maybe if Irv Smith Jr. or one of these other guys vastly outshines Harrison Bryant and he just looks awful in training camp, but I don't think that'll be the case. I think Harrison Bryant is your 3rd tight end on this roster. And once again, I give this trade an A for the Houston Texans. 1, they get a better draft capital, and 2, you get something for John Mechie, who might not have made the roster at the end of the day. I have 2 more stories to break down on today's show, but today's show is brought to you by Prize Picks. They are back. Prize Picks is back for the football season, and I, for one, am ready to go. We got football. We even got college football going on this week, so it is the perfect time to jump in the waters and get started with our sponsor of today's show, that is Prize Picks. Preseason football is underway and college football is here, so don't miss any of the action this season on Prize Picks. Football is back, baby. Get started with the #1 daily fantasy sports app where you can turn your football knowledge into some cold, hard cash. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. They got you covered. And for tonight's matchup, we've got two teams who, maybe they don't really mean anything for the Texans right now with the Bengals and the Commanders playing. But I went ahead and put together a lineup for y'all tonight with a great deal as well. Prize Picks has a ton of deals going on right now. So for the game tonight, Sam Hartman, 85.5 pass yards. Give me the more on that. And then Taj Brooks, 31.5 rushing yards. Give me the more. And you see this right here? This is a great deal. Avery Johnson for Kansas State. The more. All you need, what is that? 0.5 passing yards? Yeah, he's going to get 1 passing yard. So they're basically giving you a win on that. And that's not the only deal Prize Picks is offering. Dak Prescott, week 1, same deal. 0.5 passing yards, a max discount by Prize Picks. They are basically just handing out free money with these awesome deals they have on the app right now. Prescott, 1 passing yard, week 1 against the Eagles? Yeah. Give that to me. Inject it in my veins. You can get started today with Prize Picks because they put their members first. So with all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure, Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. So Prize Picks, they got you covered. If you want to do that flex play, if you want to do a power play and really get a little ballsy, they got you covered either way. So get started today. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineups. That's code CLNS. You get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Get started today with our friends at Prize Picks. Run your game. All right, let's go to the next story on today's show. Are the Texans keeping 7 wide receivers on the roster? I'm actually only going to give this one 2 Toro heads, and I think it's a 50-50 shot. Because, yes, the Texans obviously feel comfortable with their wide receiver room. Obviously, that's a big reason why they traded John Mechie to the Philadelphia Eagles. But do they feel comfortable enough to say, hey, we're going to keep an extra guy in that room, even though they might not need it necessarily? I was looking around the webs this morning, and my guy, Jonathan Alexander of the Houston Chronicle, he put out a 53-man roster projection this morning. And he said, keeping 5 running backs and 7 wide receivers. See who makes a cut. Go check out his article online to see who he has making the Texans 53-man roster. It was a pretty good read, if you ask me. He didn't have guys who were injured, though, which I only gripe, but hey, I get it for right now. He didn't have Joe Mixon, Trent Brown, Danico Autry, some of those guys on the Texans 53-man roster. But whenever I look at this Texans wide receiver room, obviously you got the 4 locks, right? You got Nico Collins, Jaden Higgins, Christian Kirk, and Jalen Knoll. Then you have Xavier Hutchinson. I think he's found his way to make a spot on this team. That's 5. Lastly, Justin Watson and Braxton Berrios. And also, if you look at the bottom, Tank Dell injured. Could he be looking to make a return at any point this year? But I know it's going to come down to Berrios and Watson for that 6, 7, maybe one of those wide receiver spots for the Houston Texans. But the thing is, if the Texans keep 7 wide receivers, they can do that. But in doing that, they sacrifice depth on the defense. And most importantly, in the secondary, if they keep 7 wide receivers. Because I think if they keep 7 wide receivers, you're looking at multiple positions that they're going to have to keep one less of, right? Either in the secondary, maybe the linebacking room, maybe even the offensive line. They'll keep 8 instead of 9. You're going to have to make sacrifices if you keep 7 wide receivers. And I don't know if D'Amico Ryans values that position enough to say, hey, we'll keep 1 less cornerback. We'll keep 1 less safety, 1 less linebacker on this team to keep an extra wide receiver. I don't know if they view Justin Watson or Braxton Berrios as that crucial to this squad, but that's going to be a tough decision that they're going to have to make when it comes down to 53-man roster cutdown day. And to keep 7 wide receivers, I like the idea But at the same time, if it was up to me, I probably wouldn't. I would keep 6 wide receivers on this roster, and I would put my, plant my flag in the ground, put my foot down, and say, hey, we got to either pick Justin Watson or Braxton Berrios. You can't have both. It's kind of like your mom at the supermarket when you're in the candy section. You can't have the Skittles and the M&Ms. You got to pick one. You can only pick one. Last story on today's show, Ed Ingram. Is he the starting guard for your Houston Texans? I'm going to give this one 3 Toro heads. I think he might be. I think he might be the starting guard for your Houston Texans because, he has absolutely played out of his mind for the Texans in this preseason so far. Back-to-back games up against the Vikings and in this past week's game up against the Carolina Panthers. He was the highest graded lineman by PFF for both of those games. And I know, take it with a grain of salt. It's PFF. I know. Shout out to my guy, Jacob, at Texans Jacob on Twitter. Another great follow if you're a Houston Texans fan out there. But he's been putting out all the metrics around Ed Ingram. Texans offensive guard Ed Ingram in the preseason so far. 88.8 PFF grade. That's fourth. Fourth best. 70.5 pass blocking grade. Okay. 90.2 run blocking grade. Fourth as well, best. 0 pressures allowed. 91.9 gap run blocking grade. First, 100% pass block efficiency, which I don't know how it's 100 pass block efficiency and the pass blocking grade is 70.5. Take it up with the guys at PFF. But I agree with his last sentiment. He's having an excellent showing, and he might have played himself into a starting role for this Texans team, and Nick Caserio did it again. The offseason trade where our Vikings host Patrick Seatman was laughing at me. He said, we fleeced y'all. Y'all gave up a 6th-round pick for an absolute scrub. Well, that scrub might end up starting for your Houston Texans because here's my new Texans offensive line depth chart. I think this is a great possibility to start week 1 up against the LA Rams. They could keep Ariante Ursery at left tackle. The rookie has been out of his mind, playing awesome at that position for the Houston Texans. Titus Howard at right tackle. Ed Ingram right guard. Jake Andrews center. Laken Tomlinson left guard. I think this could easily be your starting lineup, and you have Cam Robinson as the backup swing tackle, left tackle for you. That could help you out. Ed Ingram, I think, could end up being another offseason steal, and back-to-back offseasons, back-to-back years with the Houston Texans front office, where I think they found a lot of guys in the margins. Obviously, you can go out and get the big names. You can spend the most money in free agency. I remember last year, Texans fans were pissed. They were absolutely pissed that the Texans didn't go out and get Christian Wilkins. Look at the defensive tackle room now. Tim Settle on a really good contract. He's balled out. Danico Autry, he played good at the end of last season. Mario Edwards Jr. had a resurgent year, maybe his best year of his career. So this Texans team, they look like they keep on finding these hidden gems, and Nick Caserio did it once again. That's the end of today's show. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, ask me any questions at Jeremy Chugs. And if you made it to the end of today's video, spam those H's down in the comment section. You're a real one. And if you're not subscribed, why not? You made it to the end of the video. We're doing something right. My promise to you, give me 1 week. Hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free. Give me 1 week to prove to you why this is the #1 Texans channel here on YouTube. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. But I promise you, you'll love this channel for the latest Texans news and rumors all year long.